Hey, welcome to the Overseer Pamphlet. My name is Robin. I'm the host of this one-man show. Welcome back, or welcome to the new listeners. I'm not really sure. I've been seeing a bit of an influx of new people listening. Maybe new people, I'm not really sure. I only see the numbers, but not really who, listens. But I appreciate anyone's contribution to this, so welcome or welcome back, I guess. Today, well, let's just say the past week has been very eventful, very chaotic. A lot has happened in pop culture or politics, and just I think in general music and all that stuff. So it's weird because it goes in some weeks there's nothing happening, so I have to literally pull out stories out of my fucking ass. But this week I literally didn't know if we should have done a emergency episode on some of these, but then I thought, you know what, it's so much stuff that I'd rather have one single episode where I discuss all of it and do a little bit of a roundup, similarly to what I did last episode, I believe. But anyways, what are we talking about this week? This past week we had the infamous Kamala v. Trump debate, first, and probably it's going to be also the only debate between the two of them, because Trump is scared for his fucking life to, have another debate with Kamala after this one. And we also have Taylor Swift linked to this, basically endorsing Kamala Harris finally after this debate. And I'm gonna get into also the conservatives' reactions and the general public, and Trump himself, how he reacted to this news. Then I also wanted to talk about the VMAs that happened the day right after that. So I think the debate here was on Wednesday, then on Thursday we had the VMAs. So I wanted to talk a bit about that. Nothing too crazy, just wanted to just do a little bit of a roundup, and also put my 2 cents on how the VMAs are, if the VMAs are actually still relevant or not. Because it used to be very, I still remember when I was in Italy, I used to, a couple times, I actually invited people over to sleep over at mine, wake up in the middle of the night to just watch the VMAs and do all that. It used to be a topical moment for pop culture. So, and I used to, be very excited about it, I remember. But it feels like with the years it's been decaying, Then I also want to talk about, well, I think in general, of course, after the VMAs, there was a lot of discourse about, K-pop and all that stuff. And NewJeans, if you have been keeping up with my K-pop episodes, literally did the unthinkable. And the members themselves, I'm talking here, they came out of, basically out of nowhere, I would say, created a random YouTube channel to upload this sort of confessional or denouncement, I guess, of the maladministration and mistreatment that they've been, experiencing due to the corporate mess that has been happening. But yeah, I'll get into that also as my last topic. But yeah, first of all, songs of the week, as usual. Also, you can also find these songs on my playlists. I do one for each month for all the songs of the week that I put in every episode for that specific month, basically. But yeah. So, first song I want to talk about is "Don't Lie" by the Chainsmokers and Kim Petras. Now, do not come for me for putting the Chainsmoker song, but I don't know. This song is giving me so much 2010s nostalgia, the EDM days. I've been talking about this. It seems like a returning genre now. Everyone wants to do party music ever since Brad, I guess, became very popular in the general culture, and yeah. So I don't know. I think this song is actually really good. I have to be honest. People are saying that Kim Petras is losing sight of what she actually was good at, which was a bit more of a hyperpop genre. But this was my shit. I find it very catchy, very addictive, very danceable. It's like very much an EDM. Imagine like a typical 2010 EDM dance track. That's what it is. And if you like that vibe, which I do, and oddly enough, I did not like that type of music back in the days, but I am getting into it now, which is really weird. But yeah, you might like this song. Kim Petras, she's a very good singer, but I think in this song she's like just really, trying to be as palatable as possible. So you won't be hearing any like, vocals, like any like powerful vocals as she usually does. But yeah, so that's a good track in my opinion. Definitely check it out. I have another one called, where is it out? Oh my god. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about "It's Okay, I'm Okay" by Tate McRae. This song is a very good track by my favorite Britney adjacent artist. This seems like a contemporary, like in terms of no one has been doing choreo recently. Like none of the girls, none of the pop girls. I think partly because of the Taylor Swift effect of like championing singer-songwriters in that sense. But it seems like since everyone wants to get on that train and like do what Taylor is doing, then I think we've lost a bit of the performance side from these people, like real performers is what I'm saying. Like I think we don't have that many like singer performers as we used to, and it's refreshing to see someone who's actually very talented doing it very well. The video is so funny, like so she's so hot, like she's basically like it's a full advertisement about like how Tate McRae is hot as fuck, and she is, and she gets into the choreos and the videos, which is insanely good. I think before the song was released, she went viral on TikTok for the choreo for this specific song, and the song in itself is like a modern version of He Said, She Said by Ashley Tisdale. That was such a good reference, I guess. But if you like that kind of vibe, that is what it is. It's like still very Y2K reminiscent in that sense. Even in her style in this video, I think it is. But she really did that. Like, and I beg you to watch the choreo for this if you want to check out the song as well. I think the video and the choreo as well, they really complement and like enhance the song even more. Like it makes the song even more memorable. So yeah, that's a very phenomenal track, I would say. Like very stand out, a very like stand out type of track in a sense of as I said, like everyone else is doing the same thing, so she's sort of getting out there and doing something a bit different in terms of image and type of music and image, like choreo and everything, performance wise. Yeah. So yeah, that was a great track. I also wanted to put this last song, which is called sorry, I'm like barely alive today because yesterday I was out until 3 a.m. or something, and I was so fucking drunk. But I am locking in for this one, and I'm strapping on and holding on to dear life for y'all. So if I sometimes feel out of it, is because I am, but I am gonna do my best, and y'all gonna see this fucking episode up because there's a lot to talk about. I have a lot of thoughts, and I didn't want to like miss this opportunity. So bear with me. I want to talk about this song by The Dare. The Dare, if you don't know, he is one of the famous producers from Brat, the album, but he also apparently does music for himself. I didn't know about that. But he has solo music, and he recently put out an EP called What's Wrong with New York, and the vibe is still very Brat, like very Guess adjacent. His track "Girls" was actually very popular. I did listen to that; it was so good. I think out of the new songs I also really liked, I Just Tried a Disco, which is going to be on this on the playlist for this month. I Just Tried a Disco is very, like, if you like Brat, you would love this song. Just saying. So, yeah. It's like a very danceable track. If like hyper poppy, I guess, like very bombastic, I would say, production. So yeah, check it out. Check it out. But anyways, without further ado, because like we have a lot to talk about, let's just get into the first topic, which is the presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Now, this was well overdue, but also very much anticipated. I think I'm glad that it happened because we needed this slam dunk on Trump after the previous debate with Biden that really put the Democrats in a bit of a awkward position, I guess. Like, despite it all, despite the whole thing, I think Trump, with the previous one, he was looking at a secured victory in that sense, because Biden was so out of the entire debate that he just made a fool of himself. Well, a fool. He's not, like, health wise. I think mentally he's not even properly there. So we needed something like a little bit of a change of pace, and I think this was very promising. I think the two topical moments in this like campaign have been the endorsement of Kamala and her, very marketable image, even skewing towards like younger people while endorsing many different phenomena of pop culture, including Brad Summer itself. But also I think, and so the Joe Biden endorsement speech, that was a very good and fruitful event in her campaign. I think that really propelled the support. But also I think the second one, which happened, well, I think the second one is like a combination of factors. One is, of course, this debate that happened, which was, as I said again, like a slam dunk on Trump and a real, change of pace for the Democrats. But also I think that combined with shortly after Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris, that really cemented, I guess, the stance and the support that Kamala is receiving, and strengthened, I guess, her position quite a lot. Also because, not only because of these two things, but also I think the reaction from the other side, from the Republicans, specifically to Taylor Swift's endorsement, I think it was very counterproductive for the Republicans themselves, because they really put themselves in a corner and just made fools, like they're not looking at like complete fools, in my opinion. So but we'll get into the Taylor Swift part a bit later. But first, let's do the debate. I think let's just like quickly gloss over it. What happened generally? How did she perform? How I think she did. I think first of all, you could really tell that she was very well prepared for this. You can see how. I watched the entire thing, of course. So I was very also curious about the body language and the tone and the specific language as well that was used in the speech, to see what she was like trying to do. And because there's more than simply making points and like driving your your point home in that sense. It's more like also about what's not said, and like how certain things are said, and like in what language, what terms are used, and how does the candidate appear on camera and all that stuff. So I think Kamala did a great job at like appearing very institutional and very how to say, trustworthy, and embodying basically the political system and legitimacy in that sense, right? While Trump was quite frankly looking like the exact opposite. Like, it was a very dualistic approach to this, also because Trump got in so many traps that were laid by Kamala in his replies to her points. Like, the major point that everyone is talking about, of course, is the dogs and pets. They were allegedly, according to Trump, eaten by the immigrants in Springfield or whatever, which of course is not true and was not based on any evidence whatsoever, and to the point where the moderators had to like jump in and fact check Trump. So he jumped into the trap. He started talking about this like conspiracy, as he usually does. Like, that's what he usually does in any speech anyways. Like, he never talks about real policies, and he got into the trap and made a fool of himself. And I think what's really good is Kamala's reactions. And what I've also noticed is that she looks at him when he's like taking points. Like she's observing him, she's like studying him. Like you can tell she's like, into the debate. She's ready to debate while he is not even giving her any look at all. Like he's not even looking at her whatsoever. He's not really reacting to her, which is like, on one hand, shows you how, like, it communicates, at least from my point of view, that he doesn't really, like, I think he's trying to communicate that he doesn't really see her as an opponent. But also I think, on the other side, it can also seem like he's not really, ready to face her in that sense, if you know what I mean. Like, I think he's trying to make it seem like he's like, she's lesser than in that sense, but also I think it's a bit of a slip in that sense. It seems like he's not really taking her seriously, but also because he maybe is also afraid of her in that sense. And so yeah, that I found very interesting. Like she kept on looking at him every time he was speaking while he was giving no shits whatsoever, and that I think also must have communicated some sort of like indifference on his part, which is not really appreciated from like a female voter perspective, I would say. So that's also very interesting. She was also very good, and when she talked about policies, for example, she was eating him up. When she was talking about her, well, I think the biggest highlight in terms of like her strength was when they talked about reproductive rights and abortion. He of course made no fucking sense whatsoever. Started talking about conspiracies once again, like about how the Democrats killed the babies after the ninth month, and even the intervener had to like get in, like the moderators had to come in and say like that was wrong, that killing, like that's not what's happening. Like killing a baby after 9 months, it's murder. It's not abortion. And so he was backed into a corner once again. And her reply to him was so smart, so well spoken out. She spoke about, of course, the voters and how they want to be represented by the government and how they want to have their rights protected and have broader choices with their own bodies, and they don't want the government to interfere with their own bodies, Like, she went into very detailed explanations, and she was very, very good with that. Another point that I found very funny and very weird was the alien performing surgeries on aliens in prisons or whatever. Like, it was talking about, I don't know, it was grouping all like, his targets, I guess, in one, like transsexual people, calling them aliens, and also immigrants, of course, and it was very weird. Like, just, I don't know, he's just as usual, to be fair, like he always speaks no facts whatsoever. Like he just goes and rambles and hinges himself on like hate crimes, basically. To be fair, like he just hates people. Period. Like he just doesn't really. He's a very divisive person. Like I think he appeals to the people who want to be. Who don't want to have like a harmonious, I guess, relationship with other parts of the society. So it's very. It was very weird, I would say, and that was another crazy part, I think. Another one that I really found annoying was that once again, like he brought up, well, he was asked about her ethnicity, and he said she can be whatever she wants to be. Like he doesn't really care. One day she was black, the other day she wasn't. Like again into that thing, it was like every single time he spoke about these things, he made a new enemy. Like new voters were slipping away from him. Like he made a fool of himself, I have to be honest. I think overall Kamala came out, of course, on top, and she was very good, and I think they put him to shame a lot, but I think they could have done even better if they kept on, like, if she kept on, like, asking him about policies and, like, what he plans to do, because he doesn't have plans, even to, like, do you have any plans for immigration, all that stuff. I think he replied with saying, like, or maybe it was healthcare or whatever, but he said, like, I have a concept of a plan. So he doesn't really have any policies to, like, push forward and, like, to, showcase at these debates. So he doesn't really practically have any viability as a actual candidate. So I wish she could have, like, one, talked more about her own policies and her own plans, which would have, really show the difference between the two of them, but also I wish she could have probed him for, like, with more questions about his plans and put him even more into, like, a awkward spot, because he wouldn't have been able, like, he kept on changing answers all the time. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, I think overall, I think also I saw Hassan, a YouTuber, talking about this as well, that um, she really made a huge difference by also bringing in the vice president. Like, her vice president choice, I think the VP choice really um, consolidated her appeal, I would say. If she chose anyone else, I think it wouldn't have been as successful, because I think he's um, very appealing to the middle class and to normal people, basically, right? He's, a common American, which is like very um, marketable as well, I would say. So great choice there. So of course, as soon as the slam dunk on Trump was done after the debate, she invited him once again to have another debate. Because usually, I think in the history of, like, the campaigns and everything, they usually have a couple of debates, and he refused. Of course, he put in, like, different things, and, like, he. In his opinion, he won the last debate, and there wouldn't be any need for another one. Like, but he clearly didn't. I think he's just scared of, like, getting out and about. He knows that if he does again, he's gonna be even more embarrassed. But it doesn't really matter, I guess. Like, it's good that she's still trying to, like, force him to come out and talk in public about his ideas. But yeah, he is scared, and I think that speaks even more to his, crumbling majority, I would say. Like, he's not really grasping onto anything. So um interesting. So as I was saying, this debate rolled right into, like, then I think, what was it, after, was it after an hour or something, but Taylor Swift came to Instagram and posted basically her official endorsement of, like, Kamala Harris. This also sort of comes after people dragging her for, like, hanging out with, like, a Trump supporter. So she came out and endorsed Kamala. But to those people, I would say, y'all are making no sense. It's not a reply to that. This was a concerted, in my opinion, effort from both Taylor, but also the VP and Kamala Harris. Like, she used "The Man" by Taylor Swift as a song after the debate, so that must have been in talks for a bit already, like, to get the permission and everything else. So that was already a sign that they were, like, already collaborating behind the scenes with Taylor Swift. But also, as soon as she announced the endorsement, they also put on the Democrats' website or whatever, they were selling friendship bracelets with Kamala Harris and the vice president's names. So vice president choice pick in that sense. So this was already in motion. Like, they already planned, I think, on, like, timing this endorsement very well, and I think they were so successful about this because she really drove the point home that, the debates are necessary to, like, inform yourself and, like, make an informed choice. And it also communicated that it's not like she just, wants to vote Democrats, period. Like, her message was that she wants to see what the candidates have to offer, and whoever is more compelling, she would vote for that person, right? So she made it, once she legitimized, I guess, like, Kamala Harris's position, saying that in a way, like, out of the two, she appeared as the most convincing candidate. But also, she's saying to all the Republicans that you don't necessarily have to vote for Trump if he's, like, doing shit. You know what I mean? Like, look at the debates, watch the debates, look at the policies that they want to put forward, and inform yourself and make your own opinion. And I think also, in a way, it's like saying a big fuck you to all these people who are forcing artists to endorse and get into politics and all that stuff. Like, why do you need? I also talked about this on Twitter. By the way, follow me there. But I find it very, very stupid to expect celebrities to like, endorse politicians, endorse this. Like, why do you need someone who is in music or in movies and all that stuff to endorse, or, like, to validate your opinion and your political analysis or whatever? Like, inform yourself, form your own opinion, and be independent. Like, have you ever thought about, like, have you ever heard of the independent thought? Have an independent thought? Have you ever formed your own opinion on anything? Do you need someone else to validate your opinions whatsoever? Like, is it that difficult? Why do we have to expect another person you look up to validate your point before you can act? Like, just go, just inform yourself, go on articles, read articles, watch these debates. I think, like, it's. I mean, some people say like she has an obligation to do these things. Like, someone that's famous has to speak up on important events and all that stuff. And I think to a certain extent, depending on the topic, it might be true, of course. But also, Taylor Swift is not a politician, and I don't want anyone who's not like informed on these topics to speak about them. You know what I mean? Like, y'all are already letting Trump speak about these things when he's not really informed and prepared for any of these things. Now, I'd rather have myself, like, or like someone who's actually very well versed in these things talk about politics and all that stuff. Like, what is Taylor Swift going to do? She's not gonna, she doesn't know shit about politics, actually. I don't think she knows anything about that. I don't need her to support or validate my point on who I want to vote. And even if she were to be a Republican or whatever, do I really care? I really don't, personally. I really don't fucking think of, like, any of that. Like, as I said, my view of art is that art is something that transcends politics and all this stuff, like all these like contingent things. Like, art is made for the sake of art in itself. Like, I listen to an artist based on what they have to offer, and not what, like, about their personal lives or what they, like, who they go out with. And it's the same thing that we, like, why do we, like, it's the same thing that we as fans of Taylor Swift say all the time. Like, why do you care to the press? Why we always say, like, why do you care so much about who she's dating? Well, why do you care so much about who she's voting? It's the same fucking principle, in my opinion. Like, all these things are contingent. Do you like the music? Yes, good. Keep on streaming the music. Do you like what she's writing? Keep on reading the lyrics. That's her main job. That's her aspiration. And you can like Taylor Swift, and you can also disagree with her on, like, her policies, or like her way of conduct or whatever. But the two things I think are baffling. Like, why do you need her support and her validation to vote, or to, like, whatever, do all these things? This is a bit of a tangent, but anyways. But following this endorsement, I think she also posted on Instagram, like, on her stories instead, a link to the voting platform. And that voting platform received, I think, a record of visits in the span of like 24 hours or something. So she really mobilized a lot of people, of course, which is great. That's good enough. But I still think it's absurd that you need someone to tell you to go to vote in order for you to vote. Like, can you not do it yourself? Like, what? To me, it's insane. Maybe it's because, like, I don't know, I care about these things, and I don't know, I like to inform myself on these uncertain topics. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I still find it very weird. Anyways, but massive victory for the Democrats overall. I think if we keep on, like, building up on this momentum, we might be able to, like, see Harris presidency very soon. And yeah, very satisfied with this. Very satisfied with the debate. I think it was overall a pretty good change of pace, which was very much needed. So cannot wait to see what's gonna happen at the elections. Hopefully nothing crazy, and no bad surprises, Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. VMAs. The VMAs happened the day after, as I said. I think it happened like 9/11, but here in the UK it was the day after, basically. So yeah, what an interesting, I guess, like, rendition this year has been. I think it's interesting to see now, like, how many, like, we're finally seeing a clear-cut division, in my opinion, between the old, like, super famous artists and the newer, generation of influential artists as well. Like, I think the main points, like, the main people who you were, like, looking forward to were, the Sabrinas, the Chapels, the who else was there? Lisa's, and, like, all these people, like, Camila Cabello is not really new, but you know, like everyone was looking forward to like seeing these people in, and it's promising in a way because it shows that there is fresh blood in the industry that wants and is also able to like move music forward. Like Sabrina winning song of the year and Chapel winning best new artist and all that. And it wasn't really surprisingly a Taylor Swift event. Last year was it last year? In the past 2 years or something, I've been very much Taylor Swift centric in that sense. But this year, I think since she didn't really, I guess, do much with that. I mean, she left most categories to other people, which was beneficial in my opinion because at least we avoided another, unnecessary spur of hate on Twitter, I guess. But anyways, yeah, so as I said, like I'm very happy that we managed to see, new artists to basically come on stage and slay the house down boots and perform and give something a bit more meaningful. But I also still think that these VMAs are not, I don't know, I don't want to say not that relevant anymore, but they're definitely not anymore, like they're not as influential as they used to be. Like as I was saying at the beginning of the episode, it used to be a huge moment every year. We used to like round up and like see the performances and everything else. We had incredible show-stopping moments, but I think the problem part of it is that the VMAs always relied a lot on like drama and all that stuff, and that has long, departed from the culture in a way, like the tea situation and all that. There's no shock factor in having drama on stage anymore. No one wants to see that. But I think also the problem is that the form of content we consume has moved in a way. Like we don't watch television anymore. We don't like look at these things. We don't really tune in for any award shows anymore. Like we don't really care. Like the attention span is very low already. And I think also, I don't know, like if like there's no particular reason to look forward to these events anymore apart from like maybe some celebrity like meetups or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, I think the general vibe around the VMAs has died down in a way, even though like they saw a slight increment this year in viewership from last year compared to last year, but I still think the hype is still not really there as it used to be, and it's fine. I mean, VMAs are not really that big of a deal anymore, I would say. Like even the prizes themselves, it's whatever. What's really interesting is, seeing Katy Perry flop and getting booed on the stage. That was crazy shit. That of course is because of how she her this new rollout is such a fucking mess for her new album. But since it's mostly produced by Dr. Luke, if you know the drama behind that, but if you don't, he is a famous producer who allegedly raped another singer, Kesha, who sang TikTok. But anyways, so the whole point is that people are not associating with him anymore, specifically women, but she chose specifically him to produce her album because he makes hits and she wanted a hit so bad. And guess what? It's not happening. And it's very rich coming from someone who has one of their new songs for this new era is Woman's World, celebrating women, all that stuff, when you collaborate with someone who literally is the embodiment of like what women stand against, So I don't know. I found it very weird, I think the booing was deserved, and I hope she scraps the entire era, to be fair, but I think it's too late. Like she already has the vinyls and everything ready to go. It's gonna be such a bad release, such a flop. I cannot. How did we go from like being the teenage dream pop giant, I guess, pop phenomena, to this? Like, that's insane to me. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. I think in terms of looks, I liked a lot of the looks. I liked Chapel Rowan's look. I actually preferred her red carpet look over anything else she wore the entire night. I loved seeing her saying "shut the fuck up" to that paparazzi. I missed having some of the cunty, pop stars on the carpets. Like everyone is acting always so nice and all that stuff now, but I'm missing that, diva behavior. And she had that. She had that in that moment. I was like, I can see a diva here. A diva is born. A diva is walking between us now. But her look was incredible, very medieval themed. To be fair, the red carpet looked more like fantasy, like elf situation, I would say, but very cool stuff. Um, and I also loved Lisa's look on the red carpet specifically. That white cape and everything, so fucking pretty. She looked incredible. The makeup was stunning. Taylor Swift's looks also were really good. I think they were very different from what she usually does. I liked the UFO dress that she was wearing. That was very artsy, I would say, and a nod to Down Bad, her song from the Torture Boys Department. Maybe that will be another single. Who knows? But um, I like the look so much. I also love Tyla's look. She's so fucking pretty. She's insanely pretty, and she also spoke about like winning best Afrobeats and whatever. And how like Afrobeats is such a broad umbrella term that the Western world loves to use, but African music is so diverse and there's so much more to offer. I have really appreciated that. Like that was very, very poignant and very rightful, in a way. So yeah, but yeah, overall, I don't know. I think even the performances were not really that interesting to me. Lisa's performance, I think it was good, but I think she was lacking a bit of energy and commitment to the performance, which is very weird because she usually always brings it. But maybe it's because like she was not performing with anyone else, like it was just her. Then I did like Sabrina's, but even Sabrina's performance, I think it was a bit lackluster. Apart from the espresso part, but everything else before, I was like, when she came into like I didn't really like that she came like down from the ceiling and just singing "Please, Please, Please." I was like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, what about a bit better of an intro? Like, she literally just went straight into it. But whatever. Chapel Ruins was okay as well. I guess there wasn't really much going on. I thought she was gonna do a bit more of a Gaga situation, like in terms of performance. I hoped she would have, um, done a bit something a bit more scandalous or on the nose or whatever, but she really didn't do that. But it's whatever. But yeah, overall, cool stuff. Definitely not as impressive as it used to be at the VMAs, and I think it's just gonna go down even more after this. But yeah, like so much fun, so much fun, so much fun. At least seeing the performances and seeing how they go. But yeah. Um, Lastly, I wanted to slightly touch upon like continue up on um some of my previous episodes on K-pop drama. Please go and listen to them because they're very much important in terms of context. But to all my K-pop fans, I'm sure you'll have seen the mess that's as happened with the NewJeans, HYBE, and Adore, and all that stuff, and also most recently this video that the members posted um, online. So on YouTube, they created a random account and then they posted this video that felt more like a confessional, like when the YouTubers come out with an apology video or something like that. It looked like that. They were like sitting out on a table, and they were all there to denounce, the mistreatment that HYBE has been, really not looking after anymore. It seems like their entire vibe has been ruined, and their entire like label and the environment has been ruined by this corporate mess that's happened between the previous CEO and the current CEO of their label. They've, you know, they've pleaded HYBE to put back Min Hee-jin, the previous CEO, as their as their real CEO again, the actual CEO, and they celebrated her artistic vision and saying that NewJeans will never be NewJeans without the CEO and her ideas and what made them so special in the first place. And they also announced how like the working environment is not really as all conducive and very friendly. I think Hani specifically said that she was once told by one of the CEOs that not like the CEO talked to her colleagues or something and said like not to pay attention to her, to leave her alone, that she's not really important to look at in that sense or whatever. That was weird as fuck. Girl, like K-pop is such a mess right now. Specifically, this, I think, at this point is too late. Like, I'd rather see them disband, to be fair, than go back to like, how things were. Because I think either way, they're not gonna recover from this anymore. I think the video, of course, got deleted and whatever, but I think the problem is that the major point is that if she were to come back, the former CEO, as they pleaded, I don't think the tension would be resolved in any shape or form. And I don't think HYBE is willing to do that. He's not willing. HYBE is not really willing to put back Min Hee-jin where she was. Like, especially after this whole thing, they would just lose face and, be derided, basically, like, crazy. But I also think that the girls are not really up to continue with a different management. They don't really want to do that. And I don't know. I think it's for the best that they disband, and they disband also the label. I know it's sad to say, but I think the appeal of the girls has been ruined by so scandal in the beginning, and also think with them coming out and specifically like picking a stance, they have technically dig themselves in the ground a bit, because now they are siding officially with Min Hee-jin, and the public is not gonna be supporting, or like supporting them making music with the old label or the new, to be fair. So yeah, I think unfortunately it's like very sad to see this, but it's the HYBE curse, between LE SSERAFIM and them and Eyelid and whatever. Even the first ever group they put out, and it was the huge scandal. Like, they don't seem to be having a proper, how to say, well-founded management of these collective labels, I guess, like these sub-labels. But yeah, very weird stuff, very weird situation. I hope that, actually, I do think disbanding would be the best idea here, and just move on and leave this in the past, because this keeps on popping up every fucking week now. This story keeps on getting new developments and all that stuff. I think the best thing to do is just forget about it, just move on, ditch this in the past, and start a new life. That's just too much at this point. Like, I don't think anyone is here for the drama anymore. I am, but I think overall people are tired of that, and the brand reputation has also significantly dropped. They're no longer like dominating the label, sorry, the marketability of the girls anymore. So yeah, it is what it is. But anyways, that brings us to the end of the episode. Hope y'all have enjoyed this bit of a chat roundup, whatever it was. But I hope you have a great week ahead of you guys again. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on whatever, TikTok, all that. It will be linked in the description of each episode. So yeah, keep on slaying. Bye.